Hello, just thought I would make this video to show how I make my ISK currently in Eve Echoes. I'm currently based in HiSec, running encounter missions. I've got two toddlers and I've got a job, so I can never really commit more than an hour or two in the evenings to the game. During the day I do play as well, but I can only do it in spurts. So I tend to do stuff that I can complete quickly and which I can kind of take a break from as and when things come up in the household or with work. So anyway, just to explain, I have three accounts. One is tier 7, one is tier 7, one is tier 8. In fact, two are tier 8, but one will be going tier 9 in about 10 days. That was my first account. Two of them are flying Drakes, and the other one is flying a Cyclone. Basically, I have specialized in flying battle cruisers and using missiles from day one. So my skills are pretty good on those on the first two accounts. The third one is still in the process of catching up. I do pretty good damage. I use torps again for maximizing damage, and I go in at point blank range, brawling range, just to kill things as quickly as I possibly can. So anyway, I just wanted to show how the process of how this works and how I kind of make my ISK, and I just hope this is helpful or useful for some people. Again, I'm also open to suggestions or ideas on how I can speed things up. I think what I'm doing is quite efficient in terms of how quickly I can turn these missions around, but if other people have suggestions, then I'm all ears. Anyway, I'm just going to start by checking my encounters log. I haven't refreshed it yet today. I've got no missions in here. There will be a little bit of a gap on the screen as my other two accounts are running on Nox. So anyway, I ignore all the basic missions. Actually, I'm very lucky there. There's a 20 million ISK only 2 jumps away, so I'm going to accept that. Confirm. I'm just going to scroll down just to see if I normally just pick missions that are quite close by, but I do sometimes the 4.5 and 5 million missions I will select as well, even if they're a bit further, because sometimes I will travel a little bit for those kind of higher value missions. So I'm going to accept this one that's 10 jumps, 4.5 million. The other thing to note is I don't select any of the AMAR missions. My ships are shield tankers. I am at brawling range. I've got minimal tank on them. So unfortunately, the AMAR ships tend to go through my shields pretty quickly. So I just tend to go for the Mimitar, Kildari and Galenti missions. So that was pretty lucky starting. I haven't even refreshed yet, so I'm going to refresh here. And let's see what I get now. So I've got another 4 million mission within one jump. Just so you guys know, I base out of Miro Item, Miroitem, which is a few jumps from Nakugard, ITC. I have discovered that this is a pretty good system. It seems to deliver reasonably good bounty reward missions on a regular basis. So I'm just scrolling through it again. Everything else I have done, and the lowest. So I'll be starting off with these 3 that I've already selected. Now, what I will do is I'm just going to actually accept all of these so I can see how many jumps they are. And what I'm going to do now, so it's going to be a bit boring on here, is I am going to quickly do the same thing on my other 2 accounts. Again, this is quite efficient because basically you end up with the possibility of having a whole bunch of missions in the same vicinity. So you can kind of set a little kind of path or navigate around to kind of maximize your efficiency and minimize sort of traveling time. As I said, I do like Miro Item because you do tend to get a lot of high value missions all within 2 to 3 jumps, so you don't have to spend that much time traveling. So I'm just doing the same thing now on my second account. Let's have a look. So news board, I'm just clicking on that now. So I'm again quite lucky here. I've had a 5 million mission within 1 jump, and I've had another 4 million mission within 1 jump. I haven't refreshed yet. I'm just scrolling down to see if there's anything else. Oh, there's another 4.5 million within 11 jumps, and I confirm that one. And I will scroll down, and so I'm going to hit refresh now, and let's see if there's anything else. Oh, another 5 million ISK within one jump, so that's exceedingly lucky. I've now got 4 missions lined up on that account, all 5 million or above. And I'm just going to check which systems they're in, because there might be some overlap with the ones I've picked up on my main account. Let's have a look. So the first one is in Lamadent, which is one jump away from where I'm based. Second one is in Thelen, which is also just one jump away. The third one is in Otto. That's weird. Oh, that's 11 jumps. I was thinking about O2, which is O-T-O-U, but this is Otto, which is 11 jumps away. And again, the next one is O2, which is one jump. So there's 3 very close by, just within one jump base. And so finally, again, I apologize if this is a bit boring. I'm now going to go onto my third account. My third account is only T7, so I can't get any of the 5 million encounters on this one, but I do still pick up the 2 million encounters because I can nuke them extremely quickly. And I also look out for any missions where I haven't completed them yet, because you can still collect the encounter books, and I find that they can sell pretty well. You can make a lot of money on those. So I've just scrolled through his first one without refreshing. There's no other new missions there. I'm hitting refresh now, and let's scroll through that. Actually, yeah, there's 1.5 million jumps, 1.5 million bounty, 14 jumps away. I'm going to accept that just in case the other ones that are further away actually bring me close to that, but I won't actually trek out there for 1.5 million on 14 jumps unless I'm actually already in the vicinity. So that one is not quite so lucky. I'll just check my journal. Let's abandon that one. Confirm. So I'm just checking my journal. Begin. Okay. All right, so let me just look at everything. So here I have got, the first one is Rancer. Kriel Air is one jump further. So I think I'm going to actually go with my main Harden first and do those 2 and the 20 million first. In fact, yeah, maybe I'll go straight to the 20 million because it'd be nice to just get that in the bag. That's the toughest one. There is a bit of a risk with that if I don't do things properly. I have lost battle cruisers on the 20 million missions there, because you can actually get 3 battleships, including 1 elite battleship. So you can take a lot of damage, and as I said, I don't really tank very hard. So okay, so let's get started. So undock, and undock. I already have the fleet set up, so I don't have any risk of someone kind of trying to invite me to a fleet or walk me to a fleet. I've already got the fleet set up, and what I just want to do now is check who's actually the boss of the fleet at the moment. Let's have a look. I want it to be my main account, this one, so it's actually my second account, so I'm just going to switch that over. Transfer boss position, confirm, and then set as squad commander, confirm. Alright, so we're going to start travelling now. It's only 2 jumps away to the 20 million mission, and let's see, I know the way. So we're going to go and jump through Rancer. So a little bit of travelling, but only 2 jumps. I'm not sure how long my recording thing on my iPad will last. I hope it will give me about an hour of this, so you can see what kind of ISK I can make in an hour doing this process. So yeah, on my way. All 3 accounts are now in process. In terms of the setup, I might as well show you quickly while we're on the way. As I said, it's a Torp setup. These are all Gisti Torps, which are actually quite cheap. They're only about 20 million for each set, so it's actually quite a cheap setup in terms of the missiles. Mid-slots are target painters, which are very handy for torps in terms of applying damage. I've also got a predator web, which is good for slowing stuff down. And then the other thing, which I only kind of started putting on a couple of days ago, because what I found, as I mentioned, was that I was having problems. I was having problems with some of the 20 million missions with the amount of damage, and I found that by adding group shield boosters onto all three of my battle cruisers, it doesn't really make a gigantic difference because the amount of boosting is not huge. But when you've got three of them and you leave them running constantly, obviously you have to fuel them during those harder fights. They do give enough of a buffer that your normal tank can kind of keep up, and you can kind of turn your main shield booster on and off, which kind of helps preserve your cap. And then going back again to the setup, and then in the low slots it's just one shield booster, one rare hardener, and then 2 damage mods and an afterburner. Afterburner is really needed because with torps the maximum range is 15 kilometers, so you need to get into range quickly. Yeah, you could obviously go with an MWD, but I find that the afterburner is pretty adequate. You doesn't take too long, even if you get a spawn where they're a bit further away, it doesn't take too long to close the range. And again, with the MWD you get some very bad, your signature radius is increased, which means you get more incoming damage, and at the same time your cap is also reduced, which again sometimes can be critical, especially if the enemies all target the same ship in all 3 waves. Normally they split up and they'll target one ship in one wave, and in which case you don't have to run your shield boost that constantly. But sometimes, if you're unlucky, the enemies will target the same ship in every single wave, and that can be a bit tricky. So anyway, we're in the system now. I'm just going to go to the Cosmic Anomaly thing here, and the mission is Project Hacker Arrest. And I'm going to do fleet command, and I'm going to warp the fleet there, right there now. I'm going to change, I always keep the loot screen on so I can start pick stuff up as I go. I'm just on the other 2 accounts now, turning on their hardeners. Again, you can, especially on the 3rd wave, you can get a lot of damage very quickly, and sometimes I do forget to turn the hardeners on, so I try and kind of practice just remembering to kind of put them on before I actually warp in. And then you'll see my process. My process for doing this is to kill the biggest damage targets as quickly as possible. The smaller ships now don't really do that much damage, and they're not that critical, so I don't mind leaving them around. I'm not too worried about being scrambled. So here we go. You see the first one is a Megathron at 18 kilometers. I'm going to do focus fire. I'm going to approach. I'm turning on my afterburner, I'm turning on my target painter, and I'm turning on my group shield booster, and I'm going to do that on all 3 accounts now. Okay, and they've picked on my Cyclone first, which is my weakest ship, so I have turned the shield booster on there. I'm in range now, so I'm turning on my web. Again, that helps increase damage. I've turned on my damage mods. I'm turning on the afterburner to save cap. And again, I'm doing that the same on my 2nd Drake, and now on my Cyclone I'm doing the same. My Cyclone, I've actually got a 2nd hardener because again, the tank on this is not quite as good. So then I'm going to go focus on the Talus, which is the next heavy hitter here. I didn't actually set that up properly because I've been talking. So the Talus now, and as you can see, these guys are going down pretty quickly. That's the 1st wave, and again, there's been no damage on my first 2 Drakes, and I can turn off the booster on my Cyclone now as well because all the heavy damage is gone already. And then finally that Nemesis to kill, which should go down pretty quickly. Alright, 2nd wave now. Okay, so again, the Megathron will be primary target here, focus fire, approach, and afterburner, target painter, and the group shield booster is still running. Again, same on my 2nd account now, focus fire, approach, and afterburner, and then same focus fire, approach, afterburner, target painter. Okay, so let's just loot some more before we drift out of range of those first canisters. Okay, did I get them all? Yeah. So as you can see, started on 30 kilometers, which was quite far. You don't normally see them out much further than that. They're targeting again my cyclone, but again not doing too much damage right now. It's the third wave that's tricky on these 20 million missions. So here we go, just about to get into range on this. So on with the web, on with the 2 damage mods, and off with the afterburner. And I will repeat that now on the other 2, which are both in range as well. There we go, there we go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, just so I can align everything, I'm going to start approaching the Talos so that when the Megathron dies, that he's going to automatically switch to the Talos. And I'm going to do the same on my third account. That now as well. So at the moment I'm actually not shield boosting on any account, so I'm kind of preserving my cap, which is good for the third wave. As I said, this one can be a bit tricky. I'm not sure exactly what the makeup is of this one. It normally will be 3 battleships on the 20 million, and one of those will be an elite. And sometimes, again, just because of the targeting, because there's so many targets on the third wave, it can be tricky to coordinate. So I do like to try and focus my fire so I have all 3 ships hitting the same thing. But again, because my skills are lower on my third account, sometimes I can't lock the one that's furthest away, which might be the one these are targeting. So here's the final wave. All right, so we've got an elite hacker Dominic's at 18 kilometers. I'm going to take that one first, approach. And again, it's slightly out of range, so I am going to close the gap first, and I'm just setting up my other 2 accounts to close the gap on that as well. And they're going for my other Drake now, so I'm going to put his shield booster on, and yeah, he can focus on that same target. So let's see. Okay, so they're all closing in now, and they're all in range. So I'm going to turn the webs and damage mods on. So they're all in range and shooting now. My second Drake is about a third of shield gone. I'm going to go on to the Megathron next, so I'm going to start approaching the Megathron. So hopefully all the targets. Unfortunately, my second account hasn't got the Megathron on its list, and nor does my third account. So I think with them, I'll just leave them be for now. And once this elite battleship has gone down. Okay, so they've switched onto my first Drake, doing some damage there. So I'm going to turn the armor reps on that one now. Okay, so the second Megathron is under attack. Let's have a look. And I still don't have that. So the other 2 I'm just leaving to kind of blap stuff as they go. As you can see, the damage is sustainable right now. Okay, my second account can now hit that Megathron, so I'm going to approach on the Megathron. And yeah, my third account, I'm just going to leave whacking stuff. I've actually turned the shield booster off on my third account and my second account. And just leaving it running on this first account now. So that Megathron will go down, and then there's another Megathron, so I'm going to approach that one now, so I go straight onto that. And the same with my second account, approach, and my third account, I'm going to also approach a Megathron. Again, no damage on my Cyclone, no damage on my Drake currently, so all the damage is going on my primary, which is nice because this is the one that has the best engineering skills, has the most cap, and is the most pimp ship, so I don't really mind if they're shooting this Drake because it's pretty hard for them to kill that. So yeah, so they're hitting the hacker Megathron. I think I'm going to go after well, in fact, I'll just wait till the end now. I think it's pretty safe. In fact, at this point, once the Megathron goes down, I will turn off the group shield boosters to save a little bit of the fuel. The fuels don't cost that much in comparison to the thing. I'm also going to turn off the shield booster here. That Megathron is about to die. I'll pick up the loot. Alright, that's the Megathron about to go down. A bit longer than I thought. Okay, that's dead. And we're on to that final elite nemesis now. So I'm turning the group shield boosters off because there's no real need for them now. I can keep up with all the damage that's coming in. And that one's going to die. Loot. And loot. Okay, so that's it. So you can see how quickly with these 3 battle cruisers you can just burn through a 20 million mission. So that's, I don't know how long it is since I started this video. Well, it says 19 minutes, but again, probably the first 10 minutes of that was talking, getting set up, and then walking over here. So basically in 20 minutes I've just earned 20 million so that's kind of pretty decent. But again, you don't get those 20 million missions all that often, even with 3 accounts, even basing in mirror items. So as I said, that was a bit lucky. So really, the bread and butter are the 4 to 5 million missions. So you can see there, after tax, 17 million bounty, and also some reasonable loot, some green loot. So I'm just turning off all my cap using stuff because I'm now going to go to the next mission, which is actually in the next system. So we are now going to go Stargate, Rancer, jump, and I'm just going to do that on my other accounts. Rancer, jump, and Rancer, Stargate, Rancer, jump. So I think it's after this one will be a couple of more jumps for the next one. So as you can see, as I found in this mirror item station, or just refreshing the encounters board there, you do tend to get, with 3 accounts, I will normally have a minimum of 2 5 million encounters, and normally maybe 1 of 2 million encounters every half an hour. So as long as I can keep playing, I can just kind of grind through 10 to 15 million every half hour. So that's 30 million, and that's just on the bounty rewards, not including that's also on the mission rewards, not including any of the bounties on actually killing the ships. So it's a fairly lucrative way of making money quickly. And as I said, I like it because I can kill that 20 million mission in about 10 minutes. So again, when I'm working or I'm at risk of my toddlers walking in and interrupting, it's something I can put down very quickly. So I can make some ISK without having to kind of commit myself to 2 or 3 hours playing solidly to do like a storyline mission. All right, so we're in the next system. There is a mission here in my log. So this Transstellar Shipping exclusive route. I'm going to do fleet command, warp fleet, put it back onto the loot. I'm going to turn the hardener on, and you'll be able to watch and get an idea of how long the 5 million missions do take to complete. Strangely, the 5 million missions are actually not that much easier. They're a lot safer, but in terms of the time, they're a lot safer than the 20 million missions, but in terms of the time taken, they still take roughly the same time, because you still do have those battleships, two battleships on the last wave. Again, I haven't actually lost a ship to the 5 million missions, but they do take a little bit of time. So you can see here we've got a Megathron to start with, so that's my primary. It's at 18 kilometers again, so approach, afterburner, target painter, and group shield booster. Same on the other accounts now, focus fire, approach, afterburner thing, group shield booster, and again, focus fire, approach, afterburner, target painter, group shield booster. Okay, so that first one is in range now, so I am going to turn on my damage mods, turn off the afterburner save cap, and again rinse and repeat on the other one. They're targeting my other Drake now, so I am turning the shield booster on him for a little while, and then my Cyclone as well. So again, they're all doing damage now, and I'm just going to set up the next target. Oh, that one's not actually focus fire. I'm just going to go for the Talos next. So again, I try and hit the big targets first, so I get the DPS off, and then again just relax. I don't necessarily need to run the group shield boosters for as long as I do. Right, so right now I've turned off all my shield boosters, and just the group shield boosters is enough to keep the shields topped up at a nice level. So, and especially once you've got the battle cruiser and the battleship down. So again, I will go for the Celestis again, because that's the next largest target. Okay, so as you can see, and the nice thing with this kind of approach, this brawling approach with max damage, minimal tank, is that all the loot is in easy range, so it's quite handy picking things up, saves a bit of time. So loot all that. Okay, so the next wave here, we've got Megathron at 15 kilometers, which is great because it's already in range. So I'm just going to turn on the target painter, slightly out of range. Okay, there we go. And my damage mods here. And let's see, what's the second target? A focus fire, approach. And again, that's that. And again with my other Drake, focus fire, approach, target painters, damage mods. and they're going for my Cyclone now. So my Cyclone, I've turned the shield booster on for a little bit, and again everything looks under control, so I'm going to approach the Talos. I'm going to do the same on my other accounts, so once the Mega dies, they'll switch automatically onto the Talos, so in close range of the Talos. So again, I can turn the shield booster off on my Cyclone because we're keeping up with the incoming damage. And let's loot that battleship. Okay, so it's fairly straightforward now. As I said, you just have to be careful on the third wave because you do have multiple battleships normally. And let's approach that Celestis. I don't know why I missed that one for some reason. It's actually out of range for a couple of my pilots. So the thing is, again, I don't really actually have my battleships follow each other, but again, because I'm normally focusing on the same targets and approaching the same targets, they normally do stay within reasonable range. But if I do see any of them have drifted like 5-6 kilometers away, then I will manually kind of approach each other, because again, with a group shield booster, you do need to be reasonably close to get the benefits of that. I think it's about 10 kilometers. As long as you're within 10 kilometers, they will help each other. All right, so the final wave here. So we've got Dominic's right on top of us, which is great. So focus fire, approach, and target painter web and damage mods on. Same with my second account is in range, so that's good. So approach, target painter, damage mods. And my third account has also got it as well. Focus fire, approach, target painter, web, damage mod. And let's have a look. So my secondary target here will be the Talos again, so approach on the Talos already, approach on the Talos on my second account. My third account can do the same, so it's kind of worked out very nicely. I've taken some damage on my third account, so I've turned on the shield booster and I'll let that run. I could have large boosters on here, but the issue is that if you do forget, sometimes that can be quite lethal because you can actually end up running out of cap extremely quickly, and when you're running 3 accounts, that's one of those things where you can micromanage it, but it's very easy to overlook sometimes that you've left your shield booster running, and then you suddenly find you've got no cap, which again with 3 ships is okay. You can get out of it, but can be a bit risky. So you just have. That's why I prefer the mediums, because you can just leave them, and if you forget for a few minutes, it's not going to drain your entire ship. So here, again, I'm on sort of autopilot now. All the big damage ships are gone, so I'm actually going to turn the group shield boosters off because there's no need, and I've turned the shield booster off. So at the moment, I've got no shield boosters on at all. I am just clearing up the loot. I'm sort of letting them automatically target and destroy stuff. I will manually turn on the boosters for a little push if I take any damage on any of the ships, but I don't think I'm going to need to. And that's it. So if I come back here, uploading mission data here, so you can see again, actually the video is now at 28 minutes. I finished the other one at 19 minutes. So basically it took me 10 minutes for a 5 million mission to actually travel from the next system, warp in and blap everything. So I think that's a pretty good return. So let's have a look. After tax, oh, didn't come up, I didn't see it, but again, I think it was around 3.5 million after tax. And there's one frigate wreck there, which again, if it's far away, I wouldn't bother, but as it's only 10 kilometers, I'm just going to pick it up with one of my other accounts, and I'm just turning my shield boosters off to save a bit of cap. Now, having a look at my encounters list here, again, the next one is 11 jumps, so I'm not going to go out that far unless I've completely kind of exhausted the options nearby. So on my second account, I did actually pick up a whole bunch. So I've got Drone Hive Investigation 2 jumps away, I've got Shameful Robbery 2 jumps away, and I've got Contraband 2 jumps away. So I'm actually going to give the gang over now to my second account to control. So transfer boss position, I don't know if I actually need to do that or not, but I do find it's safer when you warp in, because I've had a few instances where I've warped in and then I've realised that I haven't had the right ship. I've not had the right ship in charge, and I've left one of the ships at the gate. So again, I try and remember to do that. So let's head over to the next one. We'll go Stargate to Mirror 10, jump, Stargate, Alright, jump. So I'm going back to my starting system because there's a bunch of missions just around there. It's quite handy again having a kind of usual sort of base. You can see my first tick on bounties is 1.5 million, and that actually is split across 3 accounts. So that's actually 4.5 million in bounties that I've picked up just on those 2 missions. So again, I don't really think about the bounties that much, but it does add up over the course of a bit of time while you're doing these missions. So just got a couple of jumps to make here, and then we'll start the next one. As I said, I think what I will do is I'm just going to make this video about an hour long. I don't know if I can actually upload a video that is an hour long to YouTube. I've had my account for a few years and I've uploaded some videos, but I don't know what the limit is, so I might have to edit it down. But as I said, I just really wanted to give a flavour for how quickly you can do these kind of hard missions if you're properly set up for them. Alright, so we're going to go to O2, which is where the next mission is. I'm just jumping all my other ships there. And I'm going to put the loot on already. Put loot on this one, and then other Drake, my second account, will be on Cosmic Anomaly, because that's the one that's going to be warping us in the next system. Okay, so just about ready to go. Okay, so we're in here. So the mission is contraband, and I'm warping the fleet now. So on with the hardeners, and let's see. So the contraband mission is a 5 million bounty. So this is one of the 5 million ones. This should have 2 battleships on the last wave. Again, it's reasonably easy to deal with, but again, if you're just starting out and you make mistakes, it can be a bit tougher. Alright, so here we go, and again, this is why I kind of like the missiles, the torps, because you do actually find that you're actually in range on a lot of these, so even if you're not, it doesn't take long with the afterburner. So let's have a look. Yeah, that's in range already, so I can put the damage mod on, turn the afterburner off. Same on my second account. On my third account, I'm not doing anything yet. Oh, I forgot to put the group shield booster on. Let's put those on. And focus fire on there. Okay, and then we're going to target the Talos next. So in terms of who they're targeting now, they're actually targeting my Cyclone and my Drake, so they're kind of splitting their fire. And I forgot to turn my group shield booster on my second account. There we go. So I'll turn that booster off now, it's not necessary. Turn the booster off now, it's not necessary. Okay, and then these two, I just let them go. They'll just get killed in their own time. I'm just collecting the loot as I go. Okay, so here's the next wave. So we've got a Megathron, again, very nicely in range. I have to say, again, seem to be a bit lucky tonight. It's not always that good. And you can see we kill that first wave so quickly that my damage mods aren't actually back up again. So I'm just going to get ready, start smacking things. My third account doesn't have the Megathron on its overview yet, so let's turn the afterburner off, and then my damage mods are actually activated, or can activate now, so there we go. And they're doing damage to my second Cyclone, which is about 2/3 shield, so I'm going to turn the booster on that one for a little while. And then we're going to target the Talos. My third account is already hitting the Talos because the Megathron wasn't on his overview yet. So we're going to go for the Talos next. And let's collect some more loot as we're going. Okay, and then we're down to the last wave. So I'm actually going to move and target everything onto the Celestis as the next one. so I think this one will have 2 battleships in it.